The Foo Fighters just dropped their new album titled Medicine at Midnight today, February the 5th. Now, I'm gonna say this right now. I actually never heard a Foo Fighters song ever in my life. I know. It's crazy, right? No Everlong, no Best of You, no Learn to Fly, and every other popular song I see on their Spotify page. The only thing that I do know about them is they is a rock band. So I'm excited to learn about them, listen to them, and review their album, especially for the first time. So if you love music, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to see more music content. And if you like the Foo Fighters and drinking tea, go ahead and leave a like on this video. Let's get into it. So who is the Foo Fighters? Because if you're like me, then you may not know. The Foo Fighters is an American rock band from Seattle, Washington, the home of the Starbucks organization, and they really have some pretty good tea, I'm just saying. Ain't touched mine though. The group formed in 1994, and it was founded by a former Nirvana drummer, Dave Grohl, as a one-man project following the dissolution of Nirvana after the suicide of Kurt Cobain. Rest in peace. But the group name itself actually got its nickname from a lot of aircraft pilots for UFOs. I bet you didn't know that one. Or maybe you have. I mean, I didn't know. But according to Google, they're also known as the Holy Shits. I really hope that fact is true, because if not, I mean, that's kind of funny. Regardless, it's kind of funny, I'm just saying. But over the course of the band's career, they won 12 Grammys, 4 of those being for the best rock album. Now, that takes some skill. 1 American Music Award, 4 Brit Awards, and 2 MTV Video Music Awards. Now, for a fun fact, their first album actually featured Dave, Nate Mendel, and William Goldsmith. Nate and William being both from Sunny Day Real Estate, and that album also included Pat Smear, who was Nirvana's touring guitarist. But eventually Goldsmith quit, Smear also quit, and they were replaced by Taylor Hawkins and Franz Stahl just a year before recording their 3rd album, There Is Nothing to Lose. Fast forward to time, Stahl was actually fired, and the group was a trio until Chris, and the last name I cannot pronounce, came along. Now with this group, they actually recorded so many albums, including One by One in 2002, In Your Honor in 2005, Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace in 2007, Wasting Light in 2011, Sonic Highways in 2014, Concrete and Gold in 2017, and here we are now in 2021 with Medicine at Midnight. So let me know in the comment section which one of these albums are your favorite. And also let me know which one is the worst. I want to see what's the best and what's the worst. So let me know and leave a like while you're at it. But just in case I missed someone in the list of people that I mentioned, here's the full list of the current members, former members, and touring members of the group. Now let's actually get into the album. I mean, this album is the group's 10th studio album. It was originally scheduled to drop in 2020, but you know how it goes. COVID. But the track lists are as followed: Making a Fire, Shame Shame, Cloudspotter, Waiting on a War, Medicine at Midnight, No Son of Mine, Holding Poison, Chasing Birds, and Love Dies Young. Now, they mentioned that this album was written to be played in big stadiums. So I'm expecting big grooves, big guitars, and huge sounding hooks. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, that groove is crazy. Na, 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 na. First and foremost, I love that guitar progression. It sounds epic alongside with the choir that's singing in the background. The na 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 na. Hey, go ahead and sign me up for the choir. But it sounds huge. I can imagine being in the live concert and the crowd just going wild. I like the effect that's on the main vocal as well. And the drum set sounds and the snare just sounds so amazing. I'm telling you, look, the background vocals are pretty cool too, but them na-nas is hitting. I also love the message of the song. I know a place to start, free up your mind. I'm ready to ignite. Shoot, to be honest with you, that's how I feel about this YouTube channel. I'm ready to give, grow, and reach new limits. I'm gonna let y'all know right now that the drum part at the beginning is getting sampled. That rhythm is crazy. And I also love how there's a use of a violin in the production there, and how the song builds over time. Now this song was actually debuted in 2020 with a performance on SNL. And there's also a video for this track. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm definitely about to watch it after this. Now, according to Dave, this track was actually darker than the song that they ever did. I dig it, and plus I love how when the song continues, the guitar actually supports the hook. to give it a completely different feel. Very nice production and extremely well written with a hint of cashiness. You can't tell me they don't give you any type of Michael Jackson, Bad, or freaking Prince vibe with that guitar progression. I'm a Michael Jackson fan and a Prince fan. I love that. That's the reason why I love it. The production on their music is great, and it seems like they have the same style and feel. Now, though it's a rocky song, that progression itself just gives the song more groove and a more funky feel. And it's cool because the drums are simple on this track. The guitar carries the song, and it adds a nice effect, and then when it gets to the hook, it just sounds so freaking huge. Now, for Waiting on War, I actually didn't expect this song, but here's the background of the song. Now, as a kid, Dave was always afraid of war growing up in the city of Washington, D.C. There was a lot of political tension in the 1980s, and that brought a lot of nightmares to his youth, which actually led to a feeling of a hopeless future for him. Now, last fall, before actually dropping the album, he was driving his 11-year-old daughter to school, and she actually asked him, is there gonna be a war? I mean, you can only imagine his heart sinked, because he started to realize that his daughter was living the same emotions and feelings that he experienced as a kid 40 years ago. So since then, that same exact day, he actually wrote this song. And it was written for his daughter and every other kid that deserves a future. I mean, to be honest with you, with everything that happened in 2020, Trump being in office and all of the different events that happen and deaths that happen, I understand why you would feel this way. And I'm glad this song was written. It's well written, well produced, maybe even better performed, and I love the feeling that this song creates. Plus the tempo change that is at the end, it just sounds so big. Got to be more than this or that. I love it. I love that message. Medicine at Midnight is another funky song with a lot of rhythm, but this time it's actually driven by the bass and guitar. It hockey kind of gives me beach vibes, like I'm in the Bad Boys movie in Miami. Another nice and catchy song. But I do wish it was longer once the song got to the end. Now, for No Son of Mine, Dave actually mentioned that this is the song that or feeling that resides in all of us. And if it makes sense at the time, we just let it all out. It was meant to poke at the hypocrisy of self-righteous leaders and the people that are guilty of committing the crimes that they are against. This song is epic and it sounds very, very heavy rock influenced. Now, Holding Poison continues with that rock feel, with a lot of groove that's driven by the guitar this time. I love it, and it kept my head shaking the entire time. One thing that stands out about this song to me is how live it sounds. It sounds like you're in a concert, and it sounds like the concert that I need to be in after COVID clears and concerts open. But I love the way the drums and guitar work in this track. And the guitar solo, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, Chasing Birds, I love how this album shows diversity. This one is more of a ballad and is very much more melodic. I love the voice of the lead singer, and to be honest with you, it's on my Elevate playlist. And last but not least, Love Die Young. The album ends with a very strong finish, with a nice and catchy melodic song that's driven by the continuous drum and a nice rhythmic guitar to give it feel. I like it because it has a lot of disco vibes and disco sound and feels, but also it's crowded with the rock sound, guitar, and the bigger production there. Amazing. Okay, so overall, this project was pretty dang on amazing. I thought it was unique. It was something that I never heard before, something that sounded huge, something that was well produced, something that was well written. And I'm gonna conclude it by saying this is something that I'm definitely gonna listen to again over and over. I've been sleeping on the Foo Fighters. Maybe it's because I wasn't raised around listening to rock music like that, but after listening to this project, I've learned that I missed a whole other genre that I really didn't listen to as much as I should have. The length of the project is perfect. It's right under 40 minutes, 9 songs, and every single song is something that should be on the album. It's something that brings a uniqueness, it's something that brings a theme to the album. My favorite track is probably Making a Fire, and my least favorite track is probably Medicine at Midnight, even though that's the title of the album. Making a Fire was a dope way to really start the album. I thought it was well produced, something that caught my attention right off the back. But when it got to Medicine at Midnight, it's not a bad song, but it's just something that really didn't catch me just like the other songs. But overall, I keep every track. I mean, I feel like if I listen to Medicine at Midnight again, I'll probably have a whole nother feel to it. So let me go ahead and rate this album. For production, I gave it a 9. It sounded very live. It sounded like how they said it. It sounded like you were at a live concert Then you hear a lot of different elements. You hear a lot of rock, but you also hear a good amount of rhythm and a good amount of funk elements and disco elements that's included with the rock pattern. Now, I loved it, I enjoyed it, something that I really haven't heard before, so it deserves that 9. Vocalism, I give it a 9 as well. I love the tone of the lead vocalist. It really fits the production very well, and the way it's mixed, it kind of blends within the music as if it sounds like a part of the production. It's not too loud, it's not sitting on top of it, but it's really mixed right in between, and I love it. Songwriting, I gave it a 10. I thought every single song was written very phenomenally. I can't say it. Phenomenally. Is that even a word? I thought it was written very well, and the feeling that was created in this album for me, it just felt so positive, even though there was a lot of different diversity in the album, but it just felt very upbringing and very positive, and it motivated me. And then lastly, for the overall feel, this is a 10 for me. It felt so good. It felt like a concert. It felt like them good old days when you could just go to a concert every single week. I love it, I enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend y'all listen to this album. So overall, if you add everything up and you divide by 4, you get a 9.5 out of 10 for this album. Like I said, I enjoyed it. Let me know how y'all felt about the album in the comment section. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and remember, your only limitations are those in your own mind. Stevie TV out.